Peace doesn't result necessarily from everyone agreeing with you. It's amazing how many people think that peace means that everybody agrees with your point of view. Quite often, peace arises out of a situation where people agree to disagree and recognize that they have different viewpoints in a matter. It's interesting how many times online I see situations where someone's made a comment and people jump in and blast the person without really thinking. And it's interesting that this happens very often online because in person you'd have body language. If you started saying something that the person in front of you disagreed with, they most definitely start indicating from their body language that they disagree with you, and you can adjust, you can make things happen a different way. But online you can't see that. All you can see is a avatar of the person, some picture they put on there, and a remark. And it's amazing how many people will jump in without actually taking the time to go back through the stream, read all the comments that came before to try and sort out what's really being said. They start speaking before they start thinking. There was an interesting thing that I ran into at Heartland in 2012. One of my students, Tristan, was going to be part of this quest that was going to happen that evening. And he was rehearsing with Chris, who was a friend. Tristan was going to play the part of Odin. Chris was playing the part of Loki. And what was going to happen at their particular station in the quest is that it was going to fork. And what was supposed to happen is each one of them was going to try to convince the person who came along to their station to go their way and ignore the other guy. And it was interesting as they were rehearsing, they get really into these parts. They'd start aspecting and they'd get at each other. And it would get really very animated and nasty. And they'd suddenly realize what they were doing and they'd back off and they'd say, let's take some time out. Well, Chris, as it happened, was walking through the trails that were going to be used for this quest, and he came across some animal bones, and he took these. And when he showed up at the station that night where the two of them were going to do their thing, he turned to Tristan and he laid the bones on the ground between us and said, the bones are between us. No matter what happens, no matter what we say, the bones are between us. There is this wall. We will respect each other. And it was really interesting what happened next was people would go and these guys would get really, really passionate about their arguments about my way is better than his way, but they didn't cross the line. They didn't insult each other. They didn't attack each other. There was no direct confrontation. It was quite fascinating. And so I've actually seen this used to good effect within our order and with other situations since then, where you'll see some people who are getting very, angry with one another, and one of them will say, that's it, bones are between us, that's it, and that time out, take some time, think about what they're saying, either come back with some sort of mediator. Even have situations where two people are at it and a third party jumps in and says, that's it, the bones are between you. Let's step back and let's sort this out. Because ultimately, peace comes from respect. Respect is the basis for peace. So thanks for listening. Go out there and be glorious, and the bones are between us.